So as you can tell by the title of this video, I lost my father. Um, I was 19 at that time, and when I heard about my dad, he was not living with us at the time. He was living in a different state. So I heard about it from a family member, a phone call. They called us and told us about it. Um, and it's just like one of those things that you think like your worst fear list, right? Like it was one of those things. Like that phone call did not feel real, and it was some sort of a shock to my body that it didn't even know how to respond. Like, how do you respond to someone telling you that your dad has passed? Especially in a case where it's not like my dad was sick health wise, there was nothing wrong in his body to be like something that I would have seen coming. It was more of a tragic event. It just happened so quickly, and I never would have expected it. Um, and so I remember that night when we got that call, my body was just like, I had so much stuff going in through my brain and just thinking, and I didn't know how to react. That's the best way I can describe it. My body did not know what to do. It didn't feel real, but at the same time, it did feel real. And it was like if time had just like slowed down and just everything had came on me. Like, I don't know how to describe it. And I think the worst thing is just knowing that you're going through it, but your family as well. My sisters and my mom, you know, it's horror. It really is. And I just remember just hearing my mom wailing, just wailing. And I'm hurting for her, but I'm hurting myself because it's the same person that we're, you know, going through. The point is, that's just a little bit of how it happened in my life, but I just wanted to share like those feelings that come with losing a parent and just grief in general are normal. Feeling lonely, like I just remember feeling so alone, like nobody understood where I was coming from. Not that I wanted to share to the whole world, but you get all these messages like, I'm so sorry for your loss and keeping you in your prayers, and all these people mean well. But there's no words that can make it better. And although they are reaching out because they care, your mind is in such a state that, like, it almost makes you, for me, it almost made me mad that all these people had to say these things. Like, why am I going through this? Why is this happening? What I want to come from this video is that you need to allow yourself to experience those things. And, grief comes in many different ways. You may be sad. You may be mad. You may avoid it. Your body may not really process it. You may be in some sort of shock where it seems like everything's fine. But then it comes and it hits you. It hits you in waves. Or you feel like you're doing so good for a while. And then something comes. Emotions. I remember like everything I would see, everything I would do, experience would remind me of my dad. I'd be walking in the store, I would see someone and some other facial features would look like my dad. I'm like, wow, he has the same eyebrows like my dad, or the same top portion, like their eyes and, you know, eyebrows look just like my dad, or certain things like, oh, my dad loved this. This is my dad's favorite food, my dad's favorite place. Passing by certain places, this is where we did this. Certain memories attached to everything. And I just want to say that those are beautiful things. Those are memories that you hold on to, and things you can, more tangible things, you know. That's what you have left, is memories. And how you choose to deal with all those emotions and memories is what's going to keep you moving forward. I just want to say, validating your feelings on how you feel, it's a first step. I want to just kind of go over like a couple things that have been very helpful for me, and not that I knew I was doing in the process, but you know, this has been 4 years since it happened, and I still struggle with it. It doesn't necessarily become easier. This reminds me that I had a patient in a hospital. He had lost a family member, and he said something that I'll never forget, and that really stayed in my heart, and that truly is what has made me feel better myself with everything. He said, "It does not get easier. Instead of carrying them here in your mind, you just carry them and move them to your heart, and you know that they're with you." And something about that was just so healing for me, because during that time I was, like I said, thinking of him and seeing things that reminded me of him and everything, and all of it just made me so sad. But thinking like, yes, I can think about him, but instead of having that load up here, just bring it to your heart and just know that he is with you. You know, it's that change of thinking, because I've really struggled with that, and I'm sure others have too, where it just feels like you just are missing everything that you're not gonna have anymore. You know, I just remember thinking, I was 19, and he died two days after my birthday. So October 25th was my 20th birthday, and then he died on October 27th. So I had just turned 20 years old when this happened. And I just remember thinking, like, he's never gonna get to see me get married. He's never gonna be able to walk me in my wedding, and not gonna be able to dance. Like, just all these little things. Like, he's never gonna meet my kids. He never met my husband now. You know, those things are hurtful, and things that I have to deal with still. I mean, I'm not trying to give all this advice to everyone and saying, like, I've gone through it and I know how to get through it. No, I'm still going through it. It's been 4 years. It'll be 5 this year in October. But I don't know. I just feel like there's not enough videos, not enough things out there talking about losing a parent. I think especially at a young age, where, let's say the norm, you know, is you grow up, your parents are older and they, you know, die, but losing them so young is, I can't compare because I don't have experienced the other kind, you know, being older and losing a parent, but it's hard. And I just think it's very important to just validate your feelings, experience what you're feeling, allow yourself to feel those things. You know, don't try to submerge yourself in other things to be distracted, because those feelings, all of that is still going to be in you, and it's going to keep coming up and coming up and coming up. And I think I definitely would block it out of my mind just by unconsciously doing other things, and it just always came back. And it came to a point where I just felt so depressed, and I didn't know why. What is happening with me? And I was like, I have to figure this out. Like, I cannot keep being sad like this. And, and so I started allowing myself to journal to really find the root cause of what it is that I'm feeling. And I started going to therapy. And I think therapy was such a great outlet because it allowed me to express how I was feeling, to bring up all those emotions that I did not want to talk about with someone who was unbiased and not part of my family. Because I did talk about all my feelings to my mom and my sisters and my husband. They would listen and be so supportive and amazing. But it's different when you're talking to someone not in your circle. I found lots of healing through that, and it was just very helpful in coping and navigating through it. And I can't say any more better words for it. Therapy was my lifesaver, and I could say that. Yes, I'm sad right now. I'm crying about it because I'm talking about it. Those emotions will not go away because you're human and you're gonna feel those things. At the end of the day, he's my dad and will forever always be my dad. And so I'll always feel that love and sadness when I talk about it. But I can say that I'm 100 times better than I was before to now. And I'm so grateful for that. Another thing I would say is to take care of yourself. I feel like I really lost myself, didn't know who I was. I know how I was, but I was always so busy. I was in nursing school. I was just focused on school. And this is when this all happened. And even after, I was still in that mindset. I gotta finish school. I gotta do this. And then I finished nursing school, and then I was done with school, and then it's like I felt lost. I had all this time. I worked 3 days a week, which is full time, 12 hours a day. But I just felt so lost with my time when I was alone. What do I do? I think just allowing to care for yourself. I started to do the little things that I enjoyed or things that I never really done before. So I started getting manicures and pedicures. Would sleep in, not too much, but I started watching Netflix shows, which I hadn't done in so long, and just little things here and there. Go out to the stores by myself, just look around. And I know these are very simple things, but anything that makes you feel better and that you're taking care of yourself, whatever it is, do it. Because I'm not saying go out and spend money, but do things to take care of yourself, whether it's taking a bath, simple like relaxation things. Other part that was very healing for me was to share memories about my dad. I love talking about him and just saying things about him that he liked to do or he used to do, or I remember this, and I think that's very healing. A big part of me that used to get really sad was that I felt like time was just going, time doesn't stop for anything, for anyone. And I truly hated the concept of time, because that meant that the more time that passed, the farther away I felt like my dad was getting, in a sense. Like, it's been 4 months, 5 months, and I felt like it was like time going on was pushing him back in time and making him like be forgotten. And I don't know why, but I really, really struggled with that. Something about the concept of time and it just going and going and going, and my dad just going back and back. It sounds silly, but like I really struggled with that. And so I think really just talking about him, keeping his memories alive, and just honoring their memory, doing little things that you like that remind you of your dad, you know, not your dad, but whoever it is that you've lost. I didn't mean to try to be like giving advice in this video, but I just wanted to just share my feelings, and hopefully it can help someone. If it doesn't help someone, it can resonate with somebody and feel like this is normal. Other people are feeling this, and yeah, that's my only hope from this. But yes, accept the help, therapy, friends, go out. I know you don't want to go out and do things. I never wanted to go out. I just wanted to be home. But going out, having a coffee with a friend, you know, simple things will make you feel better. It doesn't feel like it, but spend time with your family if you're able to. Spend that time together healing, because you are all going through the same thing. Everyone's experiencing it very differently, but everybody's hurting, and there's healing and being together and being closeness and being able to go through it together.